In 1978, when I went into Tuckerman Road, the corner of Tuckerman and some other road, and said to the seller, my very first sole mandate ever, that based on the information that I had, I believe fair market value on their house was between this number, and we should list therefore their house at this number. When I gave them a point at which to list their house, a number, they said that that number was too what? Look, there you go. And by the way, my fee to sell it in 1978 was too what? My fee was too high. In 1988, when I went in for a sole mandate, not my next sole mandate. It didn't take me 10 years between one and the other. I'm just sort of skipping ahead here. We're fast forwarding here a little bit. But in 1988, when I went in for a sole mandate and I said to the sellers, here's where we ought to list the house, they said that that number was too what? And my fee was too what? In the year 2020, if you're still selling houses, and most of you said you would be, come on, man. When you go in for a sole mandate, what are they going to say about your opinion of fair market value? They're going to say it's too what? And your fee is going to be what? Come on, man. We should know that. People are predictable. You know what? And a negotiator, which is what we're going to cover next, what you do for a living, would tell you. And you know what? Buyers too. When you take a buyer out and show them a house in the year now or in the year 2020, and you say it's listed for this number, are they going to offer that number? Yes or no? More or less. Significantly less if they can get away with it. Is that not right? Come on. So we should know that. And a negotiator would tell you should know that. It shouldn't surprise you when it happens, and more importantly, when they say it to you, you shouldn't be winging it at the time. You shouldn't have to wing your response. You shouldn't have to making up your response on the spot. You should have a response way before that. Negotiation is about people. People are predictable, and our strategies, therefore, we can set up before we show up. Like gravity is to physics, here's some fundamental rules to negotiating, which we need to apply to real estate. Rule number one is you never negotiate from a position of weakness. You never ever negotiate from a position of weakness. You never ever negotiate from a position of weakness. You just don't do it. Which is, the reason why it's blank in your outline is because if I wasn't a blank, you wouldn't fill it in. Because, no kidding, that's like, duh. Of course, if you negotiate from a position of weakness, what's likely to happen to you? You're likely to what? You're going to lose. Now, that's the theory. I wonder if we break that rule in real life. Here's what that suggests. When you go on a sole mandate presentation, when you're going to do your presentation tonight at 7 o'clock or tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, here's what that means. When you knock on the seller's door at 7 o'clock, you should already have the power in this dynamic. Because you shouldn't be in their house if you're negotiating from a position of weakness. Is that not right? When you're sitting at your show house or you're sitting in your office and a buyer who you don't know walks into the office or walks into your show house, you shouldn't try to negotiate with them unless you're in a position of power, a position of strength, because you don't negotiate from a position of weakness. See, and when you start to apply it, but we do that all the time, don't we? Let's make this real here. First of all, write down the word yes with an exclamation mark. Write down yes. Exclamation mark, yes. Exclamation mark, yes. Then write down the word no with a period. No, period, just no, period. Yes, exclamation mark, no, period. And then write down the word yes again with a question mark. This cute little clip, we can watch it again if you really want to, but here's the whole dynamic. This guy is a professional. The guy who's walking out the door is a professional. He's a professional counselor. Here's what he knows. More than a 2-hour conversation is too much. He's made a professional decision. So this guy who's the seller, who in this particular clip happens to be the President of the United States, says to him, I'm me and you're you, and we're done when I say we're done. Well, see. When he said no to him, when I said no to you, it wasn't an angry no. It wasn't a reaction to what you said. And that's usually the problem. We usually wait till somebody says something that upsets us, and we say no as if it's an attack. The no he said was not an attack, was it? See, he has a professional way of doing business. That's his yes. So because he's going to do business this way, here, you don't get Annie's time, you don't get it in January, you don't get Annie's time, period. That's my yes. This is the way I'm going to live. So when you say to me, you're the seller, I'm the agent, I'll show up whenever you want me to, see, I've already decided that. So I'm not getting angry about it. I'm just saying, no. But seriously, get this. See, if you attack them, they'll attack back. Is that not true? When you attack people, they attack. People are predictable. If you come after them, if you become aggressive, they become aggressive right back. Now you got a whole big argument going on. This guy didn't create an argument. He just said no. He paused. He sighed. And this is what he did next. He said, and I'm not sure you have to say this. He said, use me. He said, you can use some help, sir. He said, I believe you can use some help, sir. By the way, which was respectful, was it not? He wasn't angry. He wasn't being a prima donna. We're not talking about being arrogant. We're not talking about being dogmatic. He just said, I think you can use some help. As a matter of fact, just that way. I think you could use some help, sir. Use me or don't use me. And that too was not nasty. Use me, don't use me. But all I can offer you is this. Here it comes. That was significant. See, there's the yes with the question mark. He said, we're not doing this because I've made a professional decision that I don't do this. But I'm willing to negotiate with you from a position of fairness and equity. That's the question mark. But I can offer you this. I'll be the only one in the world other than your family. Do you understand what he's doing here? Write down the word feature. Feature. He's offering him a feature. It's how you negotiate with people. I won't do this, but I will do that if you want to. So it's really yes, no, and yes with a question mark. And then the ability to walk away. BATNA, better alternative to a negotiated agreement, bottom line, is your ability to walk away. Anybody in the room gone on a vacation in the last couple of years while you've been an estate agent? Anybody gone on a plan and gone on a vacation? Have you? Yes. The day before you were leaving for vacation. And there it is. See, you didn't have to tell them. It's like a cosmic thing. It just floats through space, and they realize, you didn't have to say use me or don't use me. You're thinking, please don't call me. I am leaving for Hawaii tomorrow, and somehow they get it. Because as soon as they sense that, as soon as they can hear it in your voice, as soon as they can see it in your eyes, you don't really want to be bothered by them. That's exactly when they want what? To buy a house. Now, it's got to be now. Please, before you leave, you got 24 hours. Is that not true? See, the truth of the matter is, we're going to talk about this a little bit tomorrow. Most communication between human beings is nonverbal. We don't have a really good, not anybody has a really good use of the vocabulary. So most of us innately really pay attention more to body language than to to the spoken word. Can you not sense when somebody really doesn't want to be bothered by you? And as soon as they can sense it, the dynamic changes. As soon as they know that you're prepared to walk away, as soon as they see it in your eyes, as soon as they sense it on your face, all of a sudden the power for them goes away because the power all comes back to you. You're willing to not agree. You can't ever find yourself in a position of, I need to have this. I need to have this sole mandate. You lost. You just lost. You think they can't see that in your eyes? When you're in front of a buyer and you've got to have a deal, you haven't paid a bill in a while and you've got to have it. Seriously, do you not think that they can't sense that? They can see that. Just like they can see that you want to go on vacation. It's more about buyers. I'm not kidding. There's a dynamic there. You need to put yourself in a position so that you're never in a position where you can't walk away from a mandate. I mean, we talked about these numbers earlier, and I don't mean to make these numbers into a big deal, but when you have 40 sole mandates, I used to carry 40 sole mandates, you know what I don't need? Another one. Do I want another one? Yes, under the right conditions. What are the right conditions? Saleable. What makes them saleable? Price fairly, might be intact, and you'll do whatever I tell you to do. Well, I mean that in the nicest way, but you know what? You need to clean the house up. You need to take your family pictures off the wall because they need to start placing their own family pictures on the wall in their head. You need to make sure that, all this stuff makes a house saleable, and if you're not willing to do that, then no. Seriously, so here we go, no kidding. The negotiation with some seller or buyer who's going to call you a week from now, a month from now, 5 years from now, starts when? It starts now. We can predict that they're going to come after us for a price. We can predict that they're going to come after our commission. We can predict that buyers, so we need to start to set up the negotiating dynamic before we're ever involved with them.